I'd like to share with you. Well, first, I have some memorable moments that I want to tell you. So here's the first one. Well, we all know about the All About Me speech, right? It's the first speech you give, and it's really easy. But since it's the first speech you give, that means when you give it, you'll be a beginner, and any speech is hard for a beginner. And that was certainly the case for me. What made it even more stressful was that it was an online meeting, and I didn't even know how to position my camera or stand in front of it. But in the end, I still got Best Speaker, and I felt a huge sense of accomplishment. But it was an online meeting, so I didn't get a ribbon. Bummer. And I don't even know how I exactly got this ribbon, because what if the club's just being nice to me? I mean, I don't really remember exactly, but I think there are more advanced speakers speaking that day. Well, even if the club was being nice to me, I still think this is a very great accomplishment. Another one of my proud moments are whenever one of my speeches are posted for the public. And the reason I like this so much is that means the club is using my speech as an example for other speakers, which means I did really good. And I bet if any of your speeches are posted for public as well, then I bet you guys are also really proud. Well, being in Junior Speakers League is a lot of fun, but you always have to face a lot of challenges, just like I did. And one of the biggest challenges everyone faces is failing speeches. I mean, everyone fails speeches. If you don't, then you're probably born with talent for Junior Speakers League. Well, I've actually failed speeches quite a few times. I remember one time I didn't have good visual aids. Another time I didn't really have good eye contact, gestures, or aspects like that. Well, the other way you can fail is not turning in your self-evaluations, and I've suffered that failure once. Oh yeah, just a side note, the self-evaluations are also kind of challenging sometimes because you have to watch yourself speak, and that's really embarrassing, especially if you know you failed the speech. Well, these failures can be really embarrassing and depressing, but they're also a great learning moment. Another challenge I faced is impromptu questions. And no, they're not that much of a challenge for me anymore right now, but those first few times were really stressful. Well, and depending on the question, an impromptu question may even be harder than a speech. That's because for a speech, you get one whole week to prepare and practice, while an impromptu question, you'll only get 10 seconds to think about what you're going to say. But you just need to practice a few times, and then after those first few times, it will be super easy. I've also learned a lot of skills in Junior Speakers League, and one major skill I've learned is preparing for speeches. And here's how I prepare a speech. So I divide the speech into parts, kind of like what they do in the basic level handbook and worksheets. And then I fill in the content and topics for every part, and then expand each topic with details. I work out how to say the entire speech, and then I practice. This format also kind of helps my writing because that worksheet I create for the speech is similar to an official piece of writing. I also find this skill useful outside of Junior Speakers League too. In school, I'm in a gifted class, which presents a lot of things. I find my skill useful here because when I prepare that presentation, I can kind of refer to preparing a JSL speech. I actually also have some advice for you guys. It's pretty simple advice, but it's very useful. So first, you should practice your speeches out loud. And the reason we want to do this is because it doesn't really help that much if you practice in your brain. And no, don't be afraid to practice out loud. When you start practicing out loud, it may seem a little weird at first, but after a few seconds, it'll be all fine. Another thing you should do is practice like you're doing the actual speech. What I mean by that is you should practice with a timer, visual aids, and you can even dress up if you want. Finally, you should listen to other people's speeches. And we want to do this because you can learn from them a lot, and then you can take that information to prepare your own speeches, just like what I'm doing right now. Well, my 1-year journey in Junior Speakers Week has been a lot of fun, and now it's almost to an end. But I've enjoyed every moment of being here, and I hope you all will too. Thank you, Miss Morgan, and thank you all.